That's what they pay me for.
And Doc Rivers to give us some insight.
Uh-oh.
What happened coming out of the second half into the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I thought, forget just the second half, never got any offensive rhythm throughout the game, in my opinion, more than just the second half. But the second half, the turnovers, the sloppy play, just killed us. It really did. But I thought it was all game. I just didn't like how we played. I didn't like how we played last game. Didn't like how we played tonight. All game. I mean, I know what they have. I get that. You can visually see that athletically, and they're big. And I just thought that, I don't know, I just thought we had more. I really did.
Coach, that you laid the feet of your point guard, James Harden, who had.
I don't lay the feet at anybody. We're a team. We don't do that. We really are. We lost together as a group. I lost, Joel lost, James, we all lost. And, the greatest thing about this is you keep trying to put your team back in these positions to win. That's what's so great about this. You don't lose and then go home. You get to come back. And say that about James and all of our guys. That's the greatest part. A lot of people don't ever want to come back. Our guys, you put everything you have into it every year, knowing that there's a chance, and probably the better chance, that you're not going to win it. But you want to believe every year that you can. And every year that you don't, you get your heart broken, and it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it, and I'll tell you that.
Coach, to that point, though, James only took 2 shots in the second half.
Yeah.
Would you like him to be a little bit more aggressive?
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to make this a referendum on James, okay? We just could have played better. The ball could have moved more. I don't know. Did we have enough time to get our stuff in? I don't know that. I thought we did, honestly. I really did. But clearly we didn't.
I think you said you don't want to make this all about James, but I did ask you to evaluate his performance all season.
Yeah, I'll do that later, Keith. I'm not going to do that after a game. We all showed up to win the game. Not one of us didn't. All right? And I know how this goes. Whenever a team loses, we all look for blame. That's what we all do. I don't know when that started, but we do. And you know what? I think all of us have big enough shoulders that we can take it, and we just keep working and doing our best.
I know it's still kind of close, but it's this season. How are you going to remember this? I mean, I know it started off.
We had a lot of distractions this year, Keith. We really did. And I think when I look back on this season, not having our second best player for most of the year, and no one thought we would be where we would record-wise. And so I like to think that we did a hell of a job getting us there, all right? And then we get James, and we wanted to see if we had enough time to put it together. And clearly we did not. And I thought execution was a major problem, in my opinion. So I think we should celebrate Joel. Jokic is a worthy MVP, but so was Joel, and so was Giannis. Joel went through a lot this year, having to shoulder the load for most of the year. The bad thing is we're not going to be the winner. There's only going to be one of those, by the way, and we're just not going to be it.
Glenn, how much have you thought about job security?
I don't worry about my job, Howard. I think I do a terrific job, and if you don't, then you should write it. Because I worked my butt off to get this team here. When I first got here, no one picked us to be anywhere. And again this year, the same thing. So if that's how anyone feels, write it, and I'm going to feel secure about it.
It's a results-based business, and that's
it is, but you don't do it every year. Every time you're wrong, should you lose your job? No. So it's the same thing, all right? But listen, if you believe that, then go with it. I know what I did this year, and I feel very good about that. But again, if you believe that, Howard, then you just run with it.
Did you think you had enough time to get everything right?
I did.
2 games ago?
I did. I still did. I just believe in our guys. That's my job as a coach.
I guess what, obviously, these last 2 games did not go the same way as the ones before. What changed, do you think?
Well, Miami changed. They played great. They played more physical. They crushed us on the glass. They made every energy, hustle play, quickness play. No, we absolutely have to get better. We have to do things to make our team better. There's no doubt about that. We saw that coming in. We look at the two teams, and we said, listen, we need people. But we tried to do it with what we had, and that's all you can do. And again, I love our guys. I thought every single one of them, whether they played well or not, every single one of our guys showed up to play. And that's all you can ever ask for.
How much did not having Joel Embiid in those first 2 games put you in the conversation?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, listen, give Miami credit, number one. They did what they had to do. Up until tonight, no team had won on the road, and they came in here and won. We had Joel tonight, and we didn't win. Was Joel 100%? Absolutely not. I think that was clear. I still thought it was his hand far more than the mask that bothered him, but it didn't matter. We suited our guys up and we played them, and that's all we could do.
How much of a gut punch was it to lose Danny early on like that?
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, Danny obviously is important to us. That's 2 playoffs in a year in a row that we've lost, and 2 playoffs in a row that Joel's not been healthy. But there's nothing you can do about that. That's just the way that it rose. I think there are so many factors with him, like hand not playing for a week and jumping into a playoff series that's every other day. So conditioning clearly had an impact on him today throughout the series. But listen, he wanted to stay, he wanted to play, and so I love coaching him, and I love what he's about. I love watching him grow up. He's still young. And I don't think we understand how young Joel is. I think we get lost in how good he is, and we forget about his age. So he's got a lot to learn, and he's doing that.
Did you talk to them, and if so, what did you tell them?
I don't ever share that, but of course we talk, but I don't share that.
You were searching for whatever, off the bench.
Yeah.
Furkan couldn't really give you much in the end, really. And then the third quarter, you end up running the offense through Shake because he was the guy that was
we're
giving
searching
you
for whatever we can get. I mean, at that point, that's not a good place to be. But it's the place we were in, and you just try to do what you can do to get your offense going.
How is Danny doing?
Not good, So I don't know what happened, but I mean, you all saw it. It can't be good. So I felt for him, and I want to say this too, without getting emotional. Paul Millsap, maybe his last game of his career, and I think people at the losses think it's just me or Joel or James taking it hard. I'm looking at this guy. He's given his whole career to basketball, and he's in there crying after the game. And so for me, that was really sad. So many of these guys, they give it to the city. They give everything they have, and sometimes it's just not good enough. I came to the conclusion at the end of this game, we were not good enough to beat Miami. I can accept that. And we just were not. And that's a tough thing to say, but we were not.
You mentioned there's only one winner, and when you're the guy on the opposite side is Jimmy Butler, and kind of just the attitude and mentality that he brings. How tough is that to deal with him when he's?
Yeah, but listen, Jimmy, it's just like me and everybody else. How many titles has Jimmy won? And that's how hard it is to win, and getting your team to believe that they can win. And I thought we did that. I thought we built this team this year to believe they can win. Whether they could or not, they believed it. And that's a great thing.
What does it take to get past the second round?
I don't care about the second round. I care about the championships. All right? I don't know. Clearly, Howard, right now, it's right after we just lost. We'll figure that out. We don't have enough yet. We know that, right? So we have to keep building. We're not going to tear it apart. We keep building, and that's what you have to keep doing. We're not the only city, right? Like, we just got to keep going and hang in there. And that's what we do. I keep saying it. Athletes and coaches, they just get back up and do it over and over and over again until they get it. And that's what you have to do. And that's what we're going to do.
Coach, you just mentioned Tyrese's development, the fact that he was out there like diving for loose balls. The game was clearly out of reach for you guys. What do you kind of say about it?
Paul Reed didn't play a lot tonight, but he's going to help us next year. Hopefully we can do something this summer. But I just love the kid. I think you know that. I've only said it 100 times. And he is still learning how to win too. You know, he's learning how to execute and come out of timeouts and run the right plays. You know, he may have to be a point guard at some point. You know, right now he's more of a 2, which was good for him. But he has a lot to learn. But I will say this with him. He will learn it because he'll outwork every single person.